Hi, I'm Hannah. That's Lisa. And today we're going to be teaching you how to throw a
Phase number 1 are the preliminary movements, or it can be called early cocking. In this phase, feet should be positioned so that a wide base is created and the knees are slightly flexed. This is portraying the first principle, where the center of gravity is lowered for stability and support so that the quarterback will not lose their balance. The shoulder of the arm that is not throwing and the neck are facing towards the target. The hips and trunk are parallel to the shoulders. The ankles are plantar flex and the feet should not be flat at this phase. The opposite foot of the throwing arm should be forward and majority of the weight is on the back foot. The ball should be drawn back and be at shoulder height. The shoulder is internally rotated and the elbow is flexed back. At this point, the quarterback's body should be making a pre-pass triangle. Phase number 2 are the backswing movements, or it can be called late cocking. Feet are still in a wide stance for stability and knees are slightly flexed. The weight shifts to the back foot. The arm that is not throwing starts to raise and point towards the target. The ball starts to rise from shoulder height and the elbow is flexed at a 90 degrees angle. This action is using the biceps and triceps. The shoulders are rotated externally and are still parallel to the hips and trunk. Phase number 3 are the force producing movements. In this phase, the weight starts to shift to the front foot. The arm that is not throwing begins to move down, and the arm that is throwing begins to move further back posterior to the head. Phase number 4 is the critical instant, or can be called the acceleration phase. The weight shifts to the front of the foot, and the arm that is not throwing moves down. This portrays the second principle, summation of joint forces, and the third principle, continuity of joint forces, where all joints are used from largest to smallest in order to reach a maximized velocity of the ball. As the ball is getting ready to be released, the hips and trunk twist and create a torque. As an angular motion occurs, force is also created. This portrays the sixth principle, production of angular motion. The joint forces from the legs, hips, and trunk send power to the arms. As the ball is released, the elbow goes from a flexed position to an extended position, and the shoulders fully rotate. Also, the ball should be released with a spin so that a spiral could be produced. This can be done when the wrist is snapped. Therefore, when the ball is released with a spin, a constant angular momentum is acting on the ball as it is in the air. This portrays the seventh principle, conservation of angular momentum. Phase number 5 is the follow-through. This is the last phase of the throw. As soon as the ball is released, the thumb rotates towards the back foot, and the index finger is the last body part that touches the ball. The throwing arm comes back down across the body, and the knee straightens out. At this point, the front foot should have all the weight, and the quarterback has an option to take a step forward with the back leg.
The starting position of throwing a football. Your neck is facing the target. Your shoulders are extended backwards and your elbows rotated backwards. Your wrist is extended around the ball and your trunk is rotated according to where the target is. Coaching tip number 1. Every football has a set of laces on the side. These laces are intended to help the thrower get a good grip on the football. However, if you have smaller hands, using the default laces will actually worsen your grip instead of improving it. If you have smaller hands, you will find it beneficial to move your hand further back on the football. Because a football is almond-shaped, the ends of the football are smaller in diameter than the middle. As a result, smaller hands will get a better grip on the end of the football, helping you throw the ball with more control. Coaching tip number 2. This second tip will help you aim your football throws. Often, when starting off, aiming is the hardest part of throwing for a beginner, especially when throwing the ball while moving. Introducing your non-throwing or non-dominant arm can greatly improve your aim. All you have to do is extend the arm you're not throwing with towards your receiving target. Make sure your arm is extended directly into a horizontal line with your shoulder, not forwards. By extending your arm, you naturally align your body with the target, helping you aim. It also provides a visual reference in order to align your throws. Coaching tip number 3. This last step will improve the spiral in your throws. In order to generate spin on the football, you have to snap your wrist outwards. This causes the ball to spin in that direction for the duration of the throw. However, some find it difficult to generate this spin when throwing, and instead of their ball spinning horizontally, their ball has a weak or non-existent spiral. In order to counteract this, overemphasizing the snap can help generate the force on the ball, causing it to spin.